Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name is Corbin and welcome back to my channel. I'm very excited about today's video. Over the course of the last 6 months or so, I've done a pretty decent size overhaul on my current wardrobe. I took a long, hard look at my closet and sort of evaluated what are the clothes that I don't really wear anymore versus what am I wearing on a day-to-day and a week-to-week basis. And pretty much anything that I found myself not wearing or that sort of didn't match with the current evolution of my personal style, I basically just listed it on my Grailed and eBay accounts. Any money that I got from selling these clothes, I basically just reinvested into new clothes. Crazy concept. But yeah, this is sort of an exercise that I personally try to do at least once or twice a year, and I would definitely encourage you guys to do the same as well. I find that a lot of people that are really into clothes or sort of exist in this world of like fashion, social media, or like whatever, we tend to get really attached to these material items that at the end of the day don't really mean that much in the grand scheme of things. Plus, in my own personal experience, it's kind of a nice feeling when you're spending money on higher ticketed items and I can just use money that I've already spent on other clothes. It's kind of like playing with house money at this point, you know? But yeah, long story short, I sold a bunch of shit, I bought a bunch of new shit, and I'm here to talk to you guys about it today. So let's get right into it. For the first item for today's video, I do have this pair of black canvas pants from the brand Staatsballet. For those of you that are not familiar, Staatsballet is a brand that is founded by Kaylin McKenzie and Avery Ginsberg. Both of those two are like absolute legends of the YouTube fashion community. And they're definitely two people that I really admire personally, just in terms of their personal style and just like the general like aesthetic and vibes that they give off, I guess. But into like the actual pants themselves, this is a pair of pants that I've really been lusting after for quite a long time now. I was in the past a little bit apprehensive to pull the trigger on them just because they do come in at kind of a higher price point, but they're definitely well worth the money, and I'm very glad that I finally did pull the trigger on these. The pants themselves feature a pretty high-waisted fit, and then they're just very straight to the leg and kind of give off a very baggy appearance, sort of depending on what waist size you end up going with. On the website, they do recommend that you size down at least 1 in the waist, but personally, I would say size down 2, which is what I did. I'm about 5'9", 140-ish pounds, and traditionally I'm a size 30 waist. With these pants, I ended up going with a size 28, and I still honestly need to wear a belt to get the perfect desired fit with them. I personally really love how these look on body. I think that the silhouette gives off such a really interesting and unique shape. In terms of styling, I tend to wear these with like a pair of boots or like my Salomons, and I think that they look really great. These are such like a perfect everyday pair of pants in my opinion, and I'm so glad to have these in my wardrobe finally. Next up, I've got a pair of Carhartt double knee pants. This pickup is actually another pickup that I got during a late night eBay auction, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I may or may not have been under the influence of an alcoholic beverage at the time of purchase, but that's neither here nor there. Actually not even the biggest Carhartt guy in the world, but when I saw these going for a solid price, I figured why not just scoop them up. As you can see, it's just like a super classic pair of Carhartt double knees in the classic duck brown color. What really drew me to these pair of pants was how faded that brown color kind of is, and I figured that this would be just like a really nice casual pair of pants to add into my wardrobe. This is actually the only pair of Carhartts that I have in my closet at the moment, so I'm really excited to kind of add these into the mix. I haven't gotten a ton of opportunities to wear this pair of pants, obviously since it's been super hot over the summer, but as the weather does start to cool off a little bit, I'll definitely be wearing these quite a bit. In terms of styling, I feel like I'll probably keep it pretty casual with these. I really see myself wearing this with just like a classic vintage t-shirt or like a hoodie or a crew neck or something like that and just calling it good. But yeah, with that said, this is the Carhartt double knees. Let's get into the next item of today's video. For the next item in today's video, I've got this pair of vintage Levi 501s in this really beautiful dusty chocolate brown kind of a color. I ended up winning these in an eBay bidding war maybe like 2 or 3 months back, and I have been absolutely in love with these ever since I got them. I had been on the hunt for a similar pair of pants for a really long time. I found that like in my current wardrobe, I really didn't have like the perfect pair of brown pants. So I've really been on the hunt for one for a while. So very glad to have finally found these. Personally, I'm just like a really huge fan of the color of these. I love the fading on them, and I just really love the fit as well. At the bottom, it looks like the previous owner did at one point release the hems, and now it's kind of worn out a little bit, and it's just like this frayed red thread at the bottom now, which I kind of like, honestly. It kind of gives it like a unique little edge and flair to them. But yeah, other than that, this is just kind of like a normal pair of Levi 501s. I'm not super good at like dating Levi's, so I really could not tell you what decade or era these are from, but they definitely have quite a bit of wear into them, and I'm excited to put even more wear into them as well and to give these a second life. That said, let's get into the next item of today's video. Next up, we've got a pickup coming from another absolute like OG of the streetwear fashion YouTube community, this time coming from Jacob Wallace's brand WhoisJacov. As you guys can see here, I've got the WhoisJacov utility shorts in the black colorway. I believe that these released maybe like a year or two ago originally, and I've always really been a huge fan of them, but for whatever reason, I never picked them up when they originally dropped. So when I did see these ungrailed for a pretty decent price, I scooped them up with the quickness. The shorts themselves are pretty unique and unorthodox compared to a lot of the other shorts that I currently have in my wardrobe. I believe this short is made out of like a heavyweight nylon material, I want to say, and it does feature like sort of a traditional boxer short silhouette, and of course it has all these crazy zippers and pockets located all over the short itself, kind of giving it like this interesting technical utilitarian kind of a vibe to them, which I am really a big fan of. I'm really loving these shorts at the moment. I've seen other people compare the quality of these to the Rick Owens boxer shorts, which I personally have never felt in person myself, but just given the hand feel of the WhoisJacov shorts, I can definitely see where that comparison might be coming from. But all in all, I'm definitely very pleased with these shorts. I've been wearing them quite a bit already, and I'm sure I will get a plenty of wear out of these throughout the rest of the summer season. So let's get into the next item of today's video. For the next pickup in today's video, I have got a pair of shorts from the brand Emanuel. As you guys can see here, this is basically just a classic pair of athletic shorts in a really interesting like blue, white, and yellow striped pattern. As you guys can see on the front left corner, there is of course the Emanuel logo, and then this must have been a collaboration that he did with Adidas, but to tell you the truth, I really don't know too much about this particular collaboration. But I can tell you that I did get these for an absolute steal. These were legit only $25 when I got these. For those of you that are familiar with the store in Chicago, Notre, about a month or so ago, they were having a huge archive sale slash like pop-up event where all the inventory was around like 50 to 80% off. So as you can imagine, there were a ton of steals to be had, and this is one of the pickups that I did acquire from that sale. All in all, I really don't have too much to say about these shorts other than the fact that I've really been enjoying them. This has kind of been like my go-to gym short as of recently, and I've really been enjoying hooping in these shorts as well. Yeah, really happy with this pickup. Obviously for $25, you cannot beat it. So with that said, let's hop into the next item of today's video. For this next pickup, I'm just gonna go ahead and go on record and say that this is probably my favorite clothing item that I currently have in my possession. This is the Engineered Garments cardigan jacket. I believe that this jacket originally released last fall as a part of like their fall winter 2021 collection, and I actually remember trying this on in store at Notre last year, and I absolutely fell in love with it from the moment that I saw it. I think that this jacket really represents everything that I really love about the brand Engineered Garments, and the fact that it has like this very traditional kind of like cardigan silhouette, but it features all these really interesting and unique details that you sort of wouldn't necessarily expect in a normal garment of this nature. For example, it's got these like pockets and this little middle button flap here that kind of give off a really cool tactical and almost like straight jacket kind of a vibe that I kind of dig. It's got this little button closure on the side where like you could either button it all the way and get like a more form-fitted kind of a look and feel, or you can leave it unbuttoned, kind of like how I prefer to wear it, and it gives off more of like boxy appearance. And then also just like the color of the garment as well as the hand feel, it almost gives off something that you would sort of associate with like a vintage military garment in a way. At least that's where like my brain goes when I like see this olive green color. But yeah, all in all, like I really love this jacket, and I could gush about it all day long, but I'll try to refrain and spare you guys from that today. But just know that you will probably see me wearing this jacket all the time in the future on this channel and probably on my Instagram as well. So that's that. This is the Engineered Garments cardigan jacket. But with that said, we can move on into the next item in today's video. So this next pickup is a little bit basic, but it is just so crucial to like my spring summer wardrobe that I honestly felt guilty not including them. And that is none other than these Uniqlo U T-Shirts. I'm pretty sure that I've mentioned this on the channel before, but I'll mention it again. Uniqlo U, hands down, are my absolute favorite T-shirts. And they also offer the very best value that you can get for a T-shirt as well, in my opinion. I periodically always re-up on these, and I just copped a couple fresh ones a couple weeks ago, which is why I'm showing them off today. Most recently, I got a black tee, a white tee, and then I got this one, which is I think is my favorite. It's like this ash grayish, blackish kind of a color. The best comparison that I can make for this color is like the hashtag unsound rags color. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. Truthfully, I'm wearing a Uniqlo U T-shirt more days out of the week than I am not, so clearly it is a summer essential for me. But with that said, let's go ahead and get into the next item within today's video. Moving into the footwear portion of today's video, the first pair of shoes that I have to show off to you guys is this pair of Birkenstock Bostons. I got these a couple of months ago, and they have become an absolute daily driver of mine. You might be able to see that there's quite a bit of wear on them already, and that's because I've literally been wearing them like almost every day since I've gotten them. These are actually the very first pair of Birkenstocks that I have ever owned personally. I remember when I was first considering getting these, I was going back and forth on whether or not I wanted the leather version, which I have here, or if I wanted the suede version. Obviously, I ended up going with the leather, and I'm very glad that I did. I feel like the suede versions don't necessarily wear in quite as nicely as the leather versions do. Also, I feel like the black leather kind of gives off a little bit more of like a refined, kind of more elegant look. But yeah. Nonetheless, I have really been digging these Birkenstocks. Like I said, I've literally been wearing them almost every day, and I'm really excited to kind of wear these throughout the rest of the summer and into the fall. But with that said, let's move on into the next pair of shoes. This next item is another pickup that I got from the No Tray archive sale that I had mentioned a little bit earlier in the video. These are a pair of Converse Chuck 70 All-Stars in this really kind of like unique and interesting teal and lavender color. The one really interesting feature that kind of drew me to the shoe outside of the price was like this kind of interesting like white stitching that goes along on the upper portion of the shoe. Something about that I think just looks kind of cool, honestly. The shoe itself isn't necessarily something that I maybe would have picked up at full retail, just because it's not like the most wearable shoe in the world, but considering that these were only like $30 at the sale, I figured I just like could not pass them up. The color of the shoe doesn't exactly go with a ton of things that I have in my current rotation, but I still have managed to get a couple of nice little fits off with these. I tend to wear these with just like a pair of like blue jeans or with like a pair of shorts or something. They kind of act as like a nice little fun, little quirky summer shoe. So yeah, this is the Converse Chuck All-Stars. I've really been enjoying these. These are cool. These are a real good pickup. Next up, I've got a pair of black leather Chelsea boots from the brand Chamula. For those of you that are not familiar with Chamula, they are basically a Mexican artisanal brand that specializes in like handcrafted leather goods and knitwear items as well. I feel like within the current like cool guy fashion zeitgeist, Chelsea boots get kind of a bad rap these days. I mean, somewhat rightfully deserved. I feel like a lot of us, when we hear Chelsea boots, we kind of think of like the archetype of like the worst possible dressed guy, but I'm here to say that that doesn't necessarily have to be the case. Particularly these Chelsea boots from Chamula really have kind of like changed my perspective on like what Chelsea boots could be. Something about it kind of gives off a little bit more of like a cool cowboy kind of a flair, if you know what I'm saying. I don't know, that might be kind of a stretch, but I really like these nonetheless. I've been wearing these quite a bit since I've gotten them. I wore them quite heavily throughout this past spring season. You can probably see all of like the creasing on the front of the shoe. But I kind of like how these look as they get a little bit more worn in and mold to my feet. I will say that this was sort of like a stepping stone for me in terms of like black leather boots as I worked my way up towards my actual Grail boots, which are the Our Legacy Camion boots. I'm probably gonna end up getting the Camion boots as like a birthday gift for myself in the fall, but until we get there, these are like my go-to black leather boots at the moment, and I've really been loving these. So if you were in the market for like an affordable pair of black leather boots, I would definitely recommend you check out Chamula. They've definitely got some good stuff over there. So with that said, these are the Chamula Chelsea boots. Let's move on into the next item. The next pair of shoes that I have to show off to you guys is this pair of New Balance 2002 R running shoes. I believe I ended up picking these up around the very beginning of spring, and they have very quickly become one of my most worn and favorite pairs of casual athletic shoes. Personally, I'm a really big fan of just how clean the silhouette of the shoe is overall, and I also really appreciate how narrow the toe box of the silhouette is. In my opinion, that narrow toe box is a little bit reminiscent of the 990 V3 model. In terms of styling, I find myself wearing the 2002 Rs in either sort of like a casual, sporty, athletic kind of a look, or I also really enjoy these shoes in more of a normcore vibe as well. Like I said before, these are such like an everyday classic pair of shoes that you really can't go wrong in terms of styling them. These potentially might be my most worn pair of shoes over the course of the last couple of months, and I'm really excited to continue to wear these, and I'm considering picking up another pair of these as well down the line. So that's that. This is the New Balance 2002 Rs. All right, so moving into the accessories portion of today's video. The first accessory that I have here is this Detroit Tigers snapback that I got a couple months ago. This hat is made by 47 brand, and as you can see, this is just like the classic Detroit Old English D on the front, and then we've got the American League patch on the side. For those of you that don't know, I'm born and raised in Detroit. That's my hometown, so it's kind of nice just to have like something a little bit more personal to where I'm from. Hardly home, but always reppin', I think is the phrase. This is gonna sound kind of vain, but I've always really liked the look of how hats look with like dreadlocks. And as you can see, I have dreadlocks and my hair is like finally long enough so that I can wear hats and have like my hair peek out underneath. So that's exciting. But yeah, that's pretty much it. This is like a pretty simple hat, but this is something that I've been wearing quite a bit throughout the summer. So figured I'd show it off to you guys. Last but certainly not least, for the final item of today's video, I have got this navy blue tote bag that I actually got from J.Crew. I feel like a lot of people kind of hate on tote bags and like people that wear tote bags, and I feel like that hate is a little bit unneeded. For those of you that live in cities, like how do you exist and not carry a tote bag? Like, I literally use this thing to carry everything. I don't leave the house without this thing on me. I keep that thing on me. Personally, what I really love about this tote in particular, I love how big it is, and I like that there's a lot of different pockets on it. And also I love that like the straps are actually like long enough that it fits on my shoulder so that I can like slug it around my shoulder like that. But I pretty much use this almost like every day. Anytime that I'm like going out downtown, like I always carry this with me. It's just convenient to have this to like throw like my water bottle in it, throw my camera in it, and just like have it in case like I'm going shopping. I can just like throw anything I pick up into this bag. It's super convenient to have, and this is like absolutely essential to like my daily life, honestly. But yeah, with that said, it's just basically a tote bag, so not a ton to say about this. With that said, we can cut to the outro. All right, that is just gonna about do it for today's video. If you did make it to the end of the video, thank you so much for tapping in with the channel. I really appreciate everyone that has been watching my videos, leaving comments, subscribing, all of that jazz. It really does make my day when I see people like engaging with the content that I'm putting out there. I feel like I say this every video that I am trying to work towards being more consistent on this channel, but I promise I really do have intentions of posting regular videos at some point in the future. Once again, I really want to thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy the video, please consider dropping a like and subscribing as well. With that said, I hope that you have an amazing day, and I will see you very soon in the next video. Peace.